Chrissy Swan Show.
Well, hello, Jack.
Good afternoon, Swan.
Everyone's very sad about Splendour in the Grass being cancelled.
I know.
I mean, I'm not, because I cannot go to a music festival. I would rather die. But I understand that it is a massive jam for a lot of people.
Yeah. I straight away thought of our mate Blackers on Ricky Lee, Tim and Joel, because I know
Yes.
how much he loves Splendour.
He's mad for it.
I'd never been, but I was considering this year because of Kylie.
Because of Kylie.
Kylie Minogue, G-Flip. There were so many fantastic artists.
So they haven't told us why it's been cancelled. Do you have any inside word? Do you have any ideas even?
I don't, but my thought is tickets went on sale last Thursday.
Yes.
6 days ago.
Yes.
Potentially organisers today had looked at ticket sales and thought, hey, we can't go on with this low sort of ticket
But
sale.
don't people like festivals?
I would think so. But maybe, I actually don't know how much tickets were. Maybe it was too expensive, Cozzy Lives and all that. Who knows?
Of course, Cozzy Lives. Yes, I reckon you're right. And maybe Kylie's audience.
Blackers has just texted me.
Oh, what did he say?
I blame Kylie.
Oh, okay.
Shut up, Blackers.
I think, Blackers, with respect, I think maybe Kylie's audiences do not enjoy portaloos and camping. I'm just saying.
True. It's not for the gays. That is true.
It doesn't feel right.
Hey, coming up next, we're going to do a kids edition of I Spy.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
Let's get in the car, Jack.
I spy with my little eye.
It's Chrissy Swan's I Spy Kids Edition. All thanks to Specsavers.
That was a cute little intro that you sang, Jack.
Thank you. I spent all night doing that.
What a
Practicing.
sweetie.
I spy, I spy.
I love it when we get to do the kids edition, because really, I Spy is a kids game.
Yeah.
And we
Feels
welcome to the show Adeline. Hello.
Hi.
Have I said your name right?
No.
Adeline.
Yes.
Adeline. Well, it's lovely to hear your voice, Adeline. How old are you? I love a little chat first.
9 years old.
9. So what grade is that? Is that grade 3?
4.
Grade 4.
Are you wagging? Why aren't you at school?
Because I'm sick.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. What is wrong? Oh, no, I'm not going to ask because, it's personal. You don't need to deal with you.
Can get grim real quick.
You don't need to tell me. All right, Adeline, this is an amazing opportunity. A, you're not at school, which is already a win. But I've got $250 cash to give you. Is there anything you've got your eye on?
A phone.
A phone.
A phone at the age of 9. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's do this. We are going to get in the car, Adeline, you and me and Jack. You're going to be in the back, of course, because, you're probably not old enough to be in the front seat. And I am going to tell you something that I spy beginning with an M and a W. You got it? All right, Adeline. M and W, I'm in a world.
Movie world.
Mate, you have got
bloody
the
done it.
cash.
You won $350. Thank you.
That is amazing. And a voucher for a new pair of cool sunglasses to wear on your holiday at Movie World, if you're going to go. You can spend your money there.
You're in the draw for Nova's first class and 50K, Adeline.
Thank you, Specsavers.
That's amazing.
Good chat.
That's great.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
Hey, Priceline Sister Club members. Don't forget, when you shop at Priceline, there is more to love as a Sister Club member. Every point gets you closer to a $5 reward. Scan your card in store or log in online and start shopping.
Head in store or online at priceline.com.au.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
There is a bold plan afoot, Jack. There is a river that...
I thought you were going to say boot me. There's a bold plan to replace you
There's
over
a
the
bold
holidays.
plan, and I welcome the new anchor of the Chrissy Swan Show. Never, by the way. No, there is a river that runs through Melbourne. Has done for tens of thousands of years.
The mighty Yarra.
The mighty Yarra. And it is much maligned because it is brown and it's full of e-bikes. And, I quite like the Yarra. It's the little river that could.
I agree, Swanee.
And the further you get out of the city, the Yarra is actually very beautiful.
Right.
But in the city, it looks like the chocolate river that Augustus Gloop fell into in the opening scenes of Willy Wonka.
It looks like just straight up sewage.
It's not ideal. So imagine my horror at the bold plan to turn the Yarra River into a recreational swimming hole.
Guys, no. No. Melbourne has got great restaurants, fantastic art exhibitions, fantastic theatre shows. We don't need to swim in the Yarra. I don't buy into the Melbourne-Sydney rivalry because I love both cities. Let's let Sydney have the harbour. They do it well. It's beautiful. People swim in it. We don't need to try and do that.
Let's let anyone else take care of the aquatic side of stuff.
Agreed.
Having said that, it's a 10-year plan. They're going to clean it. It'll only be in one area. It won't feel like you're swimming in the chocolate river from the Willy Wonka factory, apparently.
It's also just not that big, the Yarra. It's actually not that wide.
No.
How many people are you going to fit? The go boats are going to run them over.
I know. Look, I feel like there are some issues there, and we can call the mayor and have a chat about it.
Tom,
But
get Sally Cap on the phone.
the reason that I will not ever swim in the Yarra is because it ties into a very specific and unusual phobia of mine.
Like sea life? Are you scared of a particular animal that lives in the sea?
No.
The Yarra?
I don't think you know this about me, and you know almost everything.
E-bike phobia?
13 24 10, by the way. Do you have a very specific, unusual phobia? I'm not talking about spiders or snakes
Yeah,
or
we get
whatever's
it.
going on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I get it. All of those creepy crawlies are gross.
No basic bish phobias.
Nobody likes them, yes. My phobia, and even talking about it now, my toes have curled up inside my shoes just talking about it. My phobia, very unusual, very specific, is the feeling of mossy stones on my bare feet.
Wow.
And it's not just, I don't think that that's a very pleasurable experience, or I don't like that. It is a physical reaction. And if you could see me now,
Yeah,
even
right.
talking about it, my feet have curled up like little sea anemones just thinking about it, and I've got goosebumps.
When and where was this phobia born?
I don't know. I feel like something happened. There was some trauma.
There's some trauma.
As Jamie Lee Curtis would say, in my childhood, and I think it had to do with a fishing trip with my dad in South Australia. I feel like that
Okay.
is where it started. But I would rather die. Like if my children were drowning in a river and it involved me having to get in with bare feet on mossy rocks,
Nah, see you, kids.
I would have to be like, I'm sorry. I cannot do it. And, you know, I did do I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And the water hole was
like that?
Was that exact thing. And for the full 7 weeks I was there in the stinking heat, I could not cool off because it involved mossy rocks. Even the look of it, I can't even look at it.
I kind of like the feeling of it. It feels a bit dangerous.
Oh, God, it's
a bit
awful.
slidey.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
We're talking about crazy phobias. Phobias that you feel nobody understands, because I have a phobia about my bare feet on mossy rocks in a river.
So if the Yarra River eventually allows people to swim in it, you will not be diving
Well,
in.
not unless they pour in a whole lot of concrete
Okay.
and it's a pool floor.
That won't be happening.
Billy, what is your weird phobia?
Chickens.
Roast chickens.
Alive chickens, dead chickens. Anything that's fluffing around, I'm not a fan of.
Okay, so do you know where this started?
Yeah, I was about 4 years old, and mate's joint down the road.
Yeah.
Big rooster came around, just jumped on my back, started doing me. Absolutely got me.
Well, roosters are big and angry. They're surprisingly large, aren't they?
Yeah, not a fan of them at all. Can't do it.
Now-
Can't work near them. I'd lose my job to.
Really?
Not being
I was
a
going to
chicken,
say, so
100%.
at what point or how close do they have to be before you start losing your mind?
Or I'd say 15 metres.
Wow, Billy, that's
Yeah, I
amazing.
start jogging. I get on the run straight out of there.
What about KFC? Do you eat that?
Oh, I love KFC.
They're all right dead and crumbed and fried.
First class and 50K, you're in the draw, Billy.
Victoria, what is your unusual phobia?
So I've got a phobia of holes and all types of holes, but specifically if they're like in the skin.
Holes in the skin.
What are we talking about here, Victoria?
No, like on your fingers or on your face.
Who's got holes?
What about the ones that you go to the toilet out of? Are they bad?
That's fine. They're meant to be there. But if it's not meant to be there, I just can't.
I don't know what a hole in your hand...
Do you mean like a pore or a pimple in your skin?
Yeah, even if it's as small as that, but the bigger, the worse it is. So if I cut my finger and there was like a hole, I would die. I would pass away.
Victoria, this is so fascinating to me.
And nonsensical.
Sue, what is your unusual phobia? Are you there, Sue?
Oh, yes, I am. Sorry,
Hi,
Chrissy.
Sue. That's
Sorry,
all right, darling.
Yes. Oh, slime. Children's slime.
Oh, yeah. I lose my mind. There's a no slime rule in my house, but
slime
it's
at
not because
all.
I'm scared of it. It's because it never comes out of the carpet. Why don't you like it?
My granddaughter used to make it at home, and there were tubs and tubs and tubs, and if the tiniest little bit, it did come up through my toes because I trod on it, and it's like walking on wet dog do.
Yes.
Yeah, it's horrible.
is.
You have to stay right away.
So
right away.
have you very politely told your grandchildren no slime at Grandma's house?
Well, they don't bring it. They're not game.
They're not game. I love
First
it.
class and 50K, you're in the draw for that, Sue. Let's go to Kirsten.
Kirsten, what is your phobia?
Hi guys, my phobia is I have a phobia of cranes, not as in the birds, but the industrial cranes. That
Oh,
up and down.
like the big ones on building sites with multiplex written all over them and stuff.
Yeah. So like if I'm walking down a street, say in the city, and they're doing some sort of work with one of those, I will cross the other side. I get really, really worried about them.
Why? Has something happened or?
Yeah, I was involved in not like a workplace accident quite a few years ago, and since then I can't go anywhere near them.
I must say it does worry me as well. I didn't have the trauma that you had, but when you see them, particularly with a big load of metal beams on them, you just think, I want to avoid that completely.
I'm with you, Swanee. And you often see them on the news. They come down.
Of course
with bad
they
weather,
do.
I feel like you see it more often than
I
you
think I've got a new phobia now.
All right, let's finish with Natalie really quickly.
What is your phobia, Nat? Oh, we can't get it working. Are you there, Nat?
Let's not finish with Natalie.
My phobia is phones that don't work.
The Chrissy Swan Show. The Chrissy Swan Show.
Let's go clicking.
Chrissy's clickbait.
Yesterday it was breaking news that P. Diddy, Sean Combs, was in all sorts of trouble. To keep you updated on this is going to take a while.
A lot has happened since the two raids.
So much has happened. So there was the raid, and then all of a sudden his plane was in the Caribbean with him on it.
And I guess that kind of tracks, Swanee, because remember this time yesterday we saw him just loitering around a car rental place at Miami Airport.
And then he took off.
And then off he went.
Did we ever, because our super sleuth ideas here was that he was going to the Caribbean because you can't get extradited from there. Probably need to Google that before we say why.
Tom, can you suss out whether that's true? Thank you.
See if there's any sort of extradition rules.
In the Caribbean.
Since that has occurred, lots of things have happened. First of all, his lawyers have come out and said it's a witch hunt. He's done nothing wrong.
Surely you start to own it at this point. You've been found out, mate.
Well, there is a litany of people that have lodged claims, and we're going to get through a few of them. Usher, the great musician Usher, who I threw some shade on yesterday. I'm like, hang on a minute, were you involved? No, apparently he was living at P. Diddy's house from the age of 14. I didn't know that there was such an age gap between those two.
Yeah, no, nor did I. I mean, I knew that Diddy sort of helped create Usher as we know him now, but I didn't realise Usher was that young.
Well, and it seems very odd. He was on the Howard Stern show yesterday, Usher, saying that all he could say was that he saw some very unusual things while he was there. I mean, he's a teenager, a child, and it was L.A. Reid, that big producer's idea
L.A. told me
to get in. Is that who that lyric is about?
That's who Pink's singing about.
I thought it was the city.
No, L.A. Reid.
Oh my God, that's so great.
Yeah.
All right.
So LA...
It was his idea for Usher basically to do an apprenticeship.
Like work experience.
It is very odd, but I'm looking forward to hearing the details of the wild things that he saw.
Yeah.
Prince Harry has also been name dropped in the $30 million worth of lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs. I mean, things are getting worse and worse for the royals.
And back in the day, we know Prince Harry loved to party, and Diddy used to throw a lot of parties. And you can see in this photo here, back in 2007, it's Prince Harry, Ye and Diddy all hanging out at a party.
I mean, this is not going to end well. I am not a psychic. We are talking about psychics later, by the way. But this is not going to end well for Prince Harry. On to the next one. 50 Cent, the great man 50 Cent, is really enjoying.
I love when 50 gets mad on Insta.
He is really enjoying the fall of his rival, P. Diddy. They've had a very long-standing feud. And 50 was very quick to take to the socials to say, stuff just got real. The feds in all the cribs. Damn, they got the kids in cuffs. It is very nice when someone that is not very nice to you gets seen as who they are.
And Fiddy described him as too freaky for society.
Correct. I feel like this is where this is ending. Is there anything else we need to discuss? Yes, Cassie. So Cassie was the very first musical artist to start the whispers about
his ex, because they dated.
Yes, and he was obviously very involved in her career. We are going to end this on a high note with an homage to Cassie's finest work, which you introduced me to, Jack.
Take your mind back to April 2006 when Cassie dropped this absolute banger, Me and You.
I have never heard this song in my life.
I love it so much.
13, 24, 10, have you ever heard this song?
Or is it just me? Next.
I mean...
This is the Chrissy Swan Show.
Yes, rolling in to the second hour of the Chrissy Swan Show. We've already covered off bizarre phobias, and if you've missed it, go to the Nova Player and subscribe to our podcast. Why don't you? You would have also missed my confession that I have never heard this song by an artist called Cassie.
The start is sick.
I have never heard it. And further, I've never heard of Cassie.
I think she was sort of one and done back in 2006.
Like JoJo.
Yeah.
I mean, JoJo's got one of the greatest songs of all time. We did ask you, is it just me or has anyone heard of this song by Cassie? Melinda?
Yep.
Are you there? Do you know this song?
I sure do. I actually went to a nightclub when this was released and loved it ever since.
Great memories.
Good memes.
Where did you get your version of it, Jack?
I think it was So Fresh. I think it was on one of those sort of CDs.
Oh, my God. The greatest CDs at the servo.
Nicole, do you know this tune?
I absolutely do. This was my jam.
Yeah, girl.
Now, Nicole, what other songs were out around that time? Like, what else would have been on the So Fresh album?
Oh, my God. I couldn't even tell you this.
I can't believe I missed it.
Stupid Girls, Pink, 2006.
Of course, Jack can name a Pink song.
Let's finish with Annabelle. Annabelle?
Are you going to make me feel better, Annabelle?
I'm so making you feel better, Chrissy. I've never heard that song in my life.
And have you ever heard of the artist Cassie?
No,
Never.
not until you were talking about it before.
Good. I'm so glad. Thank you for validating me, Annabelle.
You're all in the draw for Nova's first class and 50k for those opinions and thoughts.
Is there
Next.
going to be a question on the quizzy about Cassie?
Who knows?
The Chrissy Swan Show.
I have fallen in love again with my bum bag.
Have you?
Yep.
How could you love it any more than you already did? You're obsessed.
I know. Let's see if we can give one away.
Chrissy's Quizzy.
I'm now dreaming of my own line of bum bags, and I feel like I need to bring it to the world.
You should.
Natalie,
Hello.
are you mad for a bum bag, or haven't you yet joined the cult?
I haven't joined the cult yet, but I think it'll come in handy. I've got a trip coming up overseas and a bum bag will be great.
Handy. You're about to have your life changed.
Might look ugly though, Natalie. You worried about that?
No one worries
not
about
at all.
that. No.
Okay, good.
No.
I'm a mum. I can get away with anything.
Exactly.
I love that energy.
Skylar, you are a young woman. Are you worried about bum bag lifestyle?
Oh, never. I love a bum bag.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yeah, I know. And at 24, there's lots of things you can put in them.
All right, ladies, your names are your buzzers. It's the best of 5, meaning the first person to get 3 answers correct wins the game and will walk away with a life-changing money can't buy Chrissy Swan Show bum bag. Question number 1.
Great. Thank you. Good luck, Stella.
Oh, you're so
you too.
gorgeous. I love you both. A bridge.
Love you.
you would have seen this last night. It was shocking. A bridge has tragically collapsed.
Natalie.
Yes, Natalie.
Baltimore.
In Baltimore. The first time I saw the footage, I thought, oh my God, that's the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Imagine.
No.
It looked exactly the same to my eyes. I'm not a bridge aphile. It looked the same to me, but it wasn't.
It looks so different.
It does not.
It does.
Tom,
looks so
get me
different.
up the image of the bridge that fell and the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
I love you, but it looks different.
Question number 2. Which 2 colours make orange?
Skylar,
Natalie.
Yes, Skylar.
Skylar.
it's red and yellow.
It is red and yellow. That's 1 apiece. A year ago today, Meghan Trainor released this.
Skylar.
Yeah, oh, you haven't heard it, but have a go.
I am your mother.
I'm going to give it to her. It's mother. I'm going to
Mother,
give it to
okay.
her.
Mother. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Skylar's so
I'm sure.
appreciative.
Here's the thing with Meghan Trainor. I'm sure she's a really nice girl, but
Yeah.
all her songs sound exactly the same.
Totally.
Like
Yeah.
it's a one-trick pony, but you got to like the trick.
Yeah.
You know?
And the trick works for radio, I guess.
100%.
They're catchy tunes. Question number 4. This is for the win, Skylar.
Oh, okay.
The upcoming film Challenges premiered in Sydney last night. Name the actor beginning with Z who was there.
Skylar.
Skylar for the win.
Zendaya.
Correct. And didn't she look elegant in that green frock?
I know. She's exquisite.
stunning.
Stunning.
Skylar, do you watch Euphoria?
I love Euphoria.
I'm so sad. Have you heard that season 3's been delayed?
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I know.
I know.
But you've got a bum bag. That's happy. Good news.
Woo, that's awesome. Thank you.
The Chrissy Swan Show. The Chrissy Swan Show.
Now, yesterday on the show, we were talking old mums, geriatric mums. What a term.
What a term.
And we spoke to somebody who had some babies very, very late. I believe it was 48 for the first one and 51 for twins. And we were talking, and I let it go on too long, as I always do. And I got to an amazing story about that mother being in the audience of a show I used to work on called The Circle.
Yeah.
And we had so many guests, and most of them were psychics. And we had on one day the great Alison Dubois, who is the inspiration behind the Patricia Arquette series Medium.
And when you said this on air yesterday, I was like, hang on, being a big Real Housewife fan, she is like a famous, iconic character from the first season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes.
And when we turned the microphones off, we realised that we are actually talking about the same woman.
person, but in different decades.
Yes.
Anyway, our beautiful listener who had babies very late said, you won't believe it, I was in the audience of The Circle when Alison Dubois was on, and I asked her, am I ever going to be able to have children? And she said, yes, but you're going to need help, which is exactly what happened. And that story sparked a memory that I thought was long gone, that Alison Dubois from the Real Housewives and the show The Medium said to me, I was pregnant at the time with my son who ended up being Kit.
Yeah.
But I'd named him in my mind and I hadn't told anybody my secret baby name. And Alison Dubois said to me, who is Kit? Specifically K-I-T.
Crazy. And that's not a common name. It's not Jack or James.
No.
Kit is so specific.
And I remember that my blood went cold. I thought, this is some serious juju.
Well, back in 2013, Swanee, when she was on The Housewives, Kyle Richards, who's a long-standing housewife, has been married to this guy called Maurizio for like over 20 years.
Yeah.
They're like the golden couple of the Housewives franchise.
Right.
Back in 2012, Alison Dubois said this to Kyle.
I was thinking she was going to have to get married again, meaning you'd have a divorce.
If my husband ever leaves me, I'm going with him.
He will never emotionally fulfill you, ever. Know that.
Ooh.
As soon as the kids are bigger, you'll have nothing in common.
Now that has happened. Kyle and Maurizio have split up, which was a shock to everyone.
So when did Alison Dubois tell Kyle that once the kids were... Oh,
2012, 12 years ago, and now Kyle, it seems, is dating a woman. So it's like Alison was on the money, the kids grew up, and Kyle left Maurizio.
And since then, hasn't Alison Dubois given a statement about this prediction?
Because everyone went to her and was like, hey, what do you have to say?
How did you know?
She was pretty nice about it, but she pretty much said I was right all along. Like, yeah.
All I want to know now, and I've got a scratch, and I really think you can itch it.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
We're talking psychics. Jack and I have an unnatural obsession with them. We are not yet sure if they're real.
I was 100% cynical, and now I'm about 70% cynical.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That is a good 30% swing, my friend. Leanne, what has a psychic said to you that was spot on?
The psychic told me that there's a problem in the corner of my bedroom, like the exact corner, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, because I love to go to take the mickey out of them. Mm-hmm. A year later, there was heaps of water damage. I had a leak in the roof. Above that drip, wrecked a rafter, wrecked heaps of things exactly in that corner, and then water, paint, everything. I'm like, oh my God, that's the exact corner she talked about.
That is bizarre. I love that. No, Jack is giving me cynical face.
Leanne, I'm with you because I'm cynical too, but is there a chance that your house maybe was a bit old or run down and that like it was
but
just...
in that specific corner, there are many areas in a house.
Yeah, okay.
My bedroom had just been perfectly painted, so I'm thinking she's on the dodge.
Right, okay, she's on the dodge.
She's on the dodge. Thank you so much for that. I feel like there is a new segment coming very soon called
On the Dodge.
She's on the dodge. Good on you, Leanne. You're in the draw for First Class on 50K. Nancy, great name, by the way, Nance.
Oh, thank you, guys. My boyfriend of about 7 years at the time was dragging his feet. I was hoping he'd propose, and I went to see a psychic. The psychic told me he's not going to propose for another 2 or 3 years, and when he does, he's going to propose with a blue ring. And I went, oh, that's weird. And sure enough, 3 years later, he proposed with a butterfly ring that was blue. You know, those ones that are toys and you can, adjust the...
Yes.
Yeah. And he proposed with the blue butterfly ring.
Wow, that's good. Come on,
good.
Jack.
I just want to check, Nancy, you hadn't told your boyfriend?
No, because he's a complete skeptic, and I was too scared to tell him that I'd gone to see a psychic.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, nah, I'm just going to keep that one to myself, and I did, and sure enough, it happened.
All right, you're in the draw for Nova's First Class on 50K, Nancy.
I think it's wise to keep those things to yourself because depending on the personality of the person you're telling, like if someone said to me, oh, in 3 years you're going to do this, I would make a note in my diary to absolutely not do that.
Not do it, yeah, totally.
Anastasia, what was a freaky prediction from a psychic?
So I went to a psychic and I showed a photo of my friend, and she's like, after we finish this, you need to call her ASAP because there's something wrong with her head. And so I've done that, and I've called her, and she's a believer of all the psychics. And she went to the doctors, get it all examined. She had an MRI scan done.
Yeah.
And she had a brain tumor. And they had to take her in ASAP, and they had to get it removed. If they didn't get it removed, she would have been not here.
Well, here's the thing. Was she feeling any symptoms before that, or did she purely go to the doctor because you said that woman said that about her?
Purely, she didn't have any symptoms whatsoever.
Anastasia, that is a good
My
one.
health anxiety has just spiked. That
Has
stuff
it?
gives me the sweats. That's yeah.
Just go and have an
that's
MRI.
amazing.
I recommend them. They're fun.
Can you do them just to do?
I mean, look, I'm sure you could.
You can in LA. So
Can
maybe
you?
I'll fly to LA to do it.
Oh my God, Terry, let's finish with you. What did the psychic say that was true?
Well, I was just driving along in my car, and I decided to call my hairdresser, and she answered. She put me on speaker while she was doing a shampoo, and the client having the shampoo interrupted her and said, "I'm sorry, Alex, I've got to interrupt you. I need to speak to Kerry." She said, "Kerry, your mum's here with me. Has she passed?" And I said, "Yes." And she goes, "Well, she's telling me," she said, when they have passed, they need to tell you things about people so that you believe them. And she proceeded to tell her about the tattoo I had on my foot, which my mum never seen. She told her my daughter's registration on her car, the colour of her car.
Random.
She told her about the pink stone that I wear around my neck. She told me about the property where she lived, what it looked like.
Wow.
This went on for 40 minutes. And I was in the car, and that woman was in another room 25 kilometres away.
And you were like, I just wanted a bloody blow wave.
Shut up.
The Chrissy Swan Show.
Let's go clicking.
Chrissy's clickbait.
You know I love Sister Act. You know I love, oh my God, the name escapes me. Ghost. I love Whoopi Goldberg.
I watched Sister Act for the first time this past weekend.
I mean, name a more iconic performance.
Seriously, hungover, Sister Act. My housemate Contos was like, mate, we've got to watch it. It was fantastic.
Used to love Whoopi Goldberg. See if you can find a film called Jumping Jack Flash on one of the streamers. She is magical in it. But there is something that's happened to Whoopi Goldberg, probably with age.
Yeah.
She takes herself a little bit too seriously.
That happens, doesn't it?
Oh my God, so earnest. It's like, remember the spirit of living, Whoopi.
Did it have magic? Is that what happened to Kerry Ann? Was she always that uptight?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh no, that means that will happen to me.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Don't let it happen to me, Jack. So the reason I'm talking about this sort of metamorphosis from heaven to hell was that Whoopi Goldberg has disrupted a recording of The View. Or does it go out live?
No, I'm pretty sure The View's live.
I think it is live, actually,
Yeah.
which makes this even weirder. So it's a live studio audience. Whoopi Goldberg gets up in the middle of the live show. Keep in mind, there's about 8 cameras on her. I've done daytime television. There's a lot of cameras. And she says this to someone in the audience.
The fact that his bond...
Hold on. Sir.
What's
I have to stop you with the camera because I can see you. So do me a favor, don't pull it out again. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. What was he doing? Recording.
My brain...
Joy's like, who cares? What was he doing?
I know, what was he doing? My brain really wants to understand everything that it sees and hears. I cannot understand what is wrong with that man videoing something.
Especially when there are 9 cameras around them, shooting them to go live across America.
And there's millions of people watching exactly the same thing that he's filming.
Also, what's he going to do? Put it on his Instagram story? Who cares?
Because it wasn't even in the breaks.
No,
I get it. If it was in the break,
yeah,
I get it. But they were literally broadcasting.
They were mid-convo. And also, if it's in a break, don't you just go and whisper to a producer or a security guard? Whoopi, you don't need to do it.
Yeah, it's that seems a little bit cranky.
Too far.
That seems like the sort of woman that, goes out of her way not to have treats on Halloween, in case anyone goes trick-or-treating. Let's talk about Halle Berry. She's opened up about a shocking misdiagnosis, and it doesn't get more shocking than this. Her doctor says she went with a few bits and bobs going on downstairs.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm so sorry, Ms. Berry, but you've got the worst case of herpes I've ever seen. Now, herpes is a sexually transmitted disease or whatever they call them now. STI, I think they call them, not an STD. And so that means that you can only get it in that way.
Doing the do.
And turns out she was just perimenopausal.
What a misdiagnosis that is.
I don't know how that happens, but it is the worst misdiagnosis to get. And I know personally, not that I've ever been diagnosed with herpes, but an ex-boyfriend of mine was diagnosed with herpes, and you can only get it from, sleeping with somebody else. So he sat with that secret for ages and then eventually said to me, I got to tell you something, and I don't know how this has happened, but I think I've got herpes. Anyway, it turns out he was misdiagnosed and it was thrush.
So, oh my God, but what did you do? What was your reaction?
Well, I was like...
You dog?
I was like, well, obviously the only way you can get this...
is cheating on me.
Yeah, and then he was like, maybe I got it off a toilet seat. I'm like, what are you, 6?
Oh, what kind of excuse is that,
I know,
mate?
but then in the end... the diagnosis came back as thrush. So you just got to be very, very careful. It could have been all over Red Rover for me at that stage, and frankly, it would have done me a favour.
Check this out. The Chrissy Swan Show is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.